What we talk about when we talk about a canonized saint is someone who receives special grace, a special mission in life from God to communicate to us a special message. So it may be one of helping the poor. It may be one of reaching out to people who are in need. It may be one of closer relationship to God through a life of love and of giving, of self-giving and of sacrifice for others. Because oftentimes what a saint does is it lives the concrete, specific message of Christ in the here and now, in this particular time, in this particular culture, in this particular historical, cultural, religious context. And so therefore a saint is a concrete experience and moment of the message of Christ. So maybe perhaps what we're seeing here is a tradition of a movement of certain voices like St. Francis of Assisi, Padre Pio, Dorothy Day, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, that these people seem to have a common thread in their lives, in their message. And this lone voice, almost a voice crying out in the desert, that gives us a different message, what they used to say a countercultural message, a message that goes against what everybody says, thinks, and does, and that perhaps that lone voice speaking reveals to us what God is trying to say. So if you look at the life of Dorothy Day, if you look at the life of Mother Teresa, you will find, without any doubt or hesitation, what was the one sacrament that they built their entire lives on? It was the Eucharist, Holy Communion. So it's in the church where they find life, they find family, they find nourishment, they find forgiveness, they find help, and they find strength. The word saint comes from the Latin word sanctus, which means holy. And so therefore, a saint is a holy person, a person who in one of two ways followed Christ most closely. The one way, which is more of a rare, but yet a more impressive way, if you will, is someone who has died the death of a martyr. In other words, someone who has given up his or her life in witness to the faith and who has undergone a brutal and a sudden death, being put to death by someone. The other way is the more classic, the more common, the thing we're more used to, is someone who lives a life of heroic virtue and then dies a natural death, and that person is called a confessor. When we talk about the word heroic, oftentimes we think of people who are, who can be in two places at the same time, or people who might have the gift of being able to see the future, or read hearts, or read the secrets of the inner soul, or people who are capable of walking 5 inches above the ground, or who have the stigmata, the wounds of Christ. We don't think of the person, for example, the person who goes to the office and goes to work every day, day in, day out. The wife or the mother who's at home changing the diapers and making supper and lunch and getting the kids' breakfast ready. We don't see anything heroic, but yet in reality that is heroic. And actually the definition of heroic is doing what you're supposed to, when you're supposed to do it, with faith, with constancy and love.